The gun world just experienced an earthquake, and most American gun owners don't even know it happened yet. Donald Trump signed Executive Order 14,117 in early 2025, and with a single signature, he demolished decades of import restrictions, ATF roadblocks, and backdoor regulations that kept some of the world's most capable firearms completely out of your hands. So here's what we're doing today. I'm breaking down the 10 most significant firearms that just got unleashed on the American market. These aren't random guns I picked because they look cool. Every single one of these was specifically blocked, banned, or buried under regulations that made importing them either illegal or commercially impossible. And now, thanks to Executive Order 14,117, they're all coming back. Number 10. Arsenal SAM 7K44M, the Bulgarian Beast. They didn't want you to have. Let's start with a gun that's been locked out of America since the Obama administration decided to play politics with your Second Amendment rights. The Arsenal SAM 7K44M is a Bulgarian-made AK pistol chambered in 7.62 by 39, and it's not even in the same category as the American-made AK copies you've been settling for. This platform features a milled receiver, which means the entire receiver is carved from a solid block of steel, instead of being stamped from sheet metal like the budget versions flooding the market. For over a decade, the State Department blocked Arsenal Bulgaria from shipping firearms to the United States under the convenient excuse of international sanctions. But everyone in the industry knew the real reason. Control. Trump's 2025 executive action cut through that bureaucratic nonsense completely. Arsenal Bulgaria is back on the approved import list for 2026, and they're bringing the SAM 7K44M with them. This is a true military specification Bulgarian milled AK pistol with a 10.5-inch barrel, weighing just 5.8 pounds unloaded. And it accepts every standard AK magazine ever manufactured. The chrome-lined barrel handles corrosive ammunition without degradation, and the milled receiver construction means this gun will outlast stamped versions by decades. But here's what you need to know before you rush to buy one. The price tag hits around $1,900. The muzzle blast from that short barrel will absolutely punish indoor shooting. There's no optic mounting from the factory configuration. It's heavier than comparable AR pistol platforms, and dealer inventory at initial launch is going to be extremely limited. Number 9. Steyr AUG, a 3M1 NATO, the Austrian bullpup without compromise. This one's for anyone who's been buying watered-down versions of the legendary Austrian bullpup for way too long. The Steyr AUG has been in continuous military service since 1977, and it remains the primary rifle for Austrian forces, the Australian military, and special operations units across the globe. Trump's 2026 import approval changes everything because Steyr can now bring in the full specification AUG-A 3M1 NATO, exactly as it's issued to Austrian armed forces. No modifications, no compliance cuts, no compromises whatsoever. You get the integrated 1.5 times optic that's built directly into the carrying handle, the quick-change barrel system that swaps out in under 30 seconds without tools, and the ambidextrous controls that work perfectly from the factory. This rifle consistently shoots 1.5 MOA groups at 100 yards with quality ammunition. The barrel is cold hammer forged for extended service life, and the integrated optic is legitimately bomb-proof. The price sits around $2,400, which costs more than standard AR platforms. The bullpup trigger takes serious adjustment time if you're coming from traditional rifle designs. Magazines are proprietary and expensive to replace. The overall weight exceeds polymer AR rifle options, and the ergonomics will feel strange during your first range session. But here's the question you need to answer honestly. Would you actually trust a rifle with the optic permanently built into the carry handle? Or does that feel like a potential design flaw when you can't swap it out? Number 8. Heckler & Koch HK 416A5. The rifle that took down bin Laden. Most people think you can't legally own the same rifle that Navy SEALs used during the bin Laden raid. Starting in 2026, that assumption is completely wrong. The HK416 isn't some marketing gimmick or a part-swapped AR-15 with fancy German branding slapped on the receiver. Heckler & Koch took the entire M4 platform, completely redesigned the gas system from direct impingement to a short-stroke piston, and built something that actually functions in the absolute worst conditions imaginable. Trump's 2026 approval forced Heckler & Koch's hand because under new import guidelines, they can no longer block civilian sales of semi-automatic variants just to protect their lucrative military contracts. The HK416A5 is coming to the American market as a semi-automatic rifle with full specifications except for select fire capability. This isn't a parts kit build. It's not a licensed copy made by someone else. This is a factory-built Heckler & Koch 416A5 with the short-stroke piston system, the cold hammer forged barrel rated for over 20,000 rounds, and the rail system that made it famous across special operations units worldwide. The price lands around $3,800. Proprietary parts cost significantly more than standard AR components. The weight exceeds standard AR platform rifles. Aftermarket support remains quite limited, and magazines are expensive. But here's what you're actually buying: a true military HK416 in full configuration, a piston system that stays cleaner than direct impingement designs, a barrel that lasts over 20,000 rounds, a suppressor-ready platform that needs no tuning, and collector value that's guaranteed to skyrocket significantly. 7. Beretta 1301 Tactical Pro, the fastest semi-auto shotgun on Earth. What if someone told you that one of the fastest semi-automatic shotguns ever built just got approved for unrestricted import with all the features that were previously stripped out for American compliance? The Beretta 1301 Tactical Pro isn't just another shotgun. It's a competition-bred, law enforcement-proven platform that cycles faster than almost anything else on the market. Trump's 2026 approval for NATO ally manufacturers means Beretta can now import the 1301 Tactical Pro in its original Italian specification with zero modifications required. You get the proper barrel length that Italian police actually use, the extended magazine tube that holds 7+1 rounds of 12 gauge, the oversized charging handle and controls designed specifically for tactical use, and the ghost ring sights that make fast target acquisition possible, even under stress. The gas system on this shotgun is legendary because it's called the Blink system, and it cycles so incredibly fast that you can dump all 8 rounds in under 3 seconds if you can pull the trigger that quickly. It's reliable with any 12-gauge load from light birdshot to heavy slugs. It weighs just 6.35 pounds, making it easy to maneuver. And the recoil is significantly softer than pump-action shotguns. The price runs about $1,400. The magazine tube extends past the barrel length. The aluminum receiver scratches easily. Aftermarket parts remain somewhat limited, and the loading gate feels stiff initially. But this is the fastest cycling semi-automatic shotgun available anywhere, and it's finally coming to America in full Italian tactical specification. Number 6. FN SCAR 20S Precision Rifle, ending threats at 800 yards. Some precision rifles get built for shooting paper targets at the range on Sunday afternoons. This one was designed to end threats at 800 yards in the worst environmental conditions on planet Earth. The FN SCAR 20S isn't just a long-range AR-15 with a fancy stock attached. Under Trump's 2026 import expansion for NATO ally manufacturers, FN Herstal can now ship the SCAR 20S without arbitrary restrictions or limited production runs. No more military priority excuses. No more waiting lists that stretch for months. Just full civilian availability for the first time since the rifle launched. This rifle consistently shoots sub-MOA groups with quality match ammunition. The barrel is both cold hammer forged and chrome lined for extended service life. And the gas system is self-regulating, meaning it runs suppressed without any tuning or adjustments whatsoever. The price sits around $4,500. The rifle is heavy, exceeding 11 pounds total weight. Proprietary barrel threading limits, suppressor options. Magazines cost $50 each. And honestly, it's overkill for most civilian use cases. But here's what you're actually getting. A true military-designated marksman rifle platform with sub-MOA accuracy, self-regulating gas that needs nothing adjusted, a fully adjustable stock that fits everyone comfortably, and battle-proven performance in actual combat zones. So let me ask you this directly. Is spending $4,500 on a precision rifle actually worth it when you can build a custom AR-10 for half that price? Or are you really paying for the FN name and military pedigree? Number 5. CZ Bren 2MS Carbine, the AK replacement. NATO doesn't talk about some modern rifles get overhyped by marketing departments and YouTube influencers. This one's been quietly replacing AK pattern rifles across NATO countries for the past 5 years without much fanfare. The CZ Bren 2MS is what happened when the Czech Republic looked at the AK platform and decided they could engineer something significantly better. Trump's 2026 approval allows CZ to import the Bren 2MS in its original Czech military configuration as a pistol with stabilizing brace, and no modifications are required for compliance. This is the exact rifle that's replacing CZ's own 805 Bren in Czech armed forces because it's lighter, more reliable, and easier to maintain. It weighs 6.9 pounds unloaded. The short-stroke piston system keeps it running clean even with thousands of rounds, and it's rated for 15,000 rounds between major parts replacement. The price sits around $2,100. Aftermarket parts remain quite limited currently. The trigger feels different from AR platform designs. The charging handle is proprietary, and magazines wobble slightly when inserted sometimes. But you're getting full Czech military configuration, a lighter design than most piston rifle systems, compatibility with standard AR magazines, excellent ambidextrous controls, and a design proven in actual military service overseas. Number 4. IWI Taver TS-12. 16 rounds of devastating firepower. When Israeli weapon industries decides to build a shotgun, they don't approach it halfway or compromise on any features. The Taver TS-12 is a bullpup 12-gauge shotgun that holds 15 rounds plus 1 in the chamber. And that's not a misprint or exaggeration. Under 2026 federal guidelines, capacity restrictions on imported shotguns are completely lifted at the federal level. IWI can now sell the TS-12 in full 15+1 configuration nationwide with no state compliance modifications required during import. 16 rounds of 12-gauge ammunition, bullpup ergonomics that keep overall length manageable, and a design that's seen real-world combat and law enforcement use across multiple countries. This is legitimately the highest capacity pump-action shotgun that you can legally own in the United States. The price lands around $1,600. It's heavy, exceeding 8 pounds unloaded. The rotating magazine system takes practice time to master. Recoil is punishing with full power loads, and bulk makes concealment completely impossible. But this is the highest capacity shotgun available legally anywhere, with bullpup design that keeps length short and manageable, 3 magazine tubes in a genius design solution, IWI build quality that's absolutely excellent throughout, and perfect functionality for home defense scenarios. There you have it. 10 firearms that were banned, blocked, or buried in red tape for decades, and now they're all coming back in 2026, thanks to Trump's approvals and Executive Order 14,117. These aren't theoretical guns that might show up someday. These are real firearms already clearing customs, already shipping to dealers, and already available for pre-order at gun shops across America. If you want to own a piece of firearms history that your grandfather was never allowed to buy and your father couldn't import, this is your moment.